Thank you for listening to this PodcastOne production. Available on Apple Podcasts and PodcastOne.
To all my gamers out there, it's time to raise some hell and make some mayhem. Shoot and loot your way through a mayhem-fueled adventure in Borderlands 3 for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4. Borderlands 3 features all new characters, including 4 new playable Vault Hunters, over 1 billion guns and weapons, and a crazy amount of customization. Play solo or with your friends to take on insane enemies, score loads of loot, and save the galaxy from a fanatical threat. Mayhem is available now. Borderlands 3 on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. For more info, check out Borderlands.com. Rated M for mature.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production.
From Hollywood, California, by way of the Broken Skull Ranch, this is the Steve Austin Show.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now, here's Steve Austin.
All right, everybody, welcome to Steve Austin Show. I am coming to you from the Broken Skull Ranch 2.0 out here in the Silver State. Yep, I'm out here in Nevada for a couple of weeks. Just kind of relaxing. And tell you what, this morning I woke up and felt like crap. So like I tell you in the podcast, I canceled my guests. And there's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've talked about some of my matches in the past, and I decided at this time to go back 16 years ago and look and talk about my very last match of my career, and that was at WrestleMania 19 at Seattle, Washington in Safeco Arena with my good friend and one of my arch rivals, the one and only The Rock. And kind of just go back and give you the setup of the events that were going on at the time. I'm watching the match, and I'll talk you through the match, what I thought about the match, and what came out of the match. And, just in talking about the business of professional wrestling and how I dealt with, retirement and pulling my own plug and going on to the next stage of my life, which comes to find out, wouldn't come till about 1.5 years, 2 years after that, because I really did not want to leave the business of professional wrestling. This is the match, WrestleMania 19, that I might have watched one time, maybe soon after it happened, but I've never watched that match just because I wasn't sure that I wanted to watch that last match. But this is the match where I had the vest made, OMR, one more round. Not everybody knew that was going to be my last match. Only a handful of us did. I'll cover that in the podcast. It's going to be a short open. I hope you enjoy the show. And this is my thoughts on WrestleMania 19, the last match of my career, and answer a few questions at the end of the podcast as far as regards for anything in the future. Enjoy the show. Steve Austin coming to you from Nevada, talking about one more round, the end with The Rock. In case you haven't heard, WWE SmackDown is coming to Fox. It all kicks off on Friday, October 4th, with a huge 20th anniversary celebration. This event is going to be lights out. Just check out this lineup of WWE superstars and legends. Hulk Hogan, Roman Reigns, Sting, Goldberg, Becky Lynch, Undertaker, Kofi Kingston, Ric Flair, and yours truly, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, hell yeah! It's the greatest night of superstars that WWE has ever seen as a new era of SmackDown begins on Fox. Don't miss the premiere of Friday Night SmackDown, October 4th at 7:30 p.m. only on Fox. And that's the bottom line. What you do in the bedroom is totally up to you and your partner or partners. But if you're not using Trojan brand condoms, you're missing out on a safe and enjoyable experience. Protect yourself from STIs and unintended pregnancy with Trojan condoms. You don't think of condoms without thinking about Trojan. And with over 30 different varieties, there's a lot to choose from. You see how people pick out their condoms at the store. They grab a random box and head to the checkout like a sorry SOB. Well, those days are over. Confidently walk into that store, grab a pack of Trojan condoms, and march up to that register with your head held high. Buying condoms shouldn't be this awkward because it's important. 20 million Americans contract an STI each year, and half are younger than 25. That's why you should go with the #1 most trusted condom brand on the market. And it doesn't matter if you're 2 months or 2 years into your relationship. Trojan condoms will be there every step of the way. Now go get your Trojan brand condoms today.
The Steve Austin Show. The Steve Austin Show.
All right, everybody, welcome to Steve Austin's show. Bear with me today. I woke up feeling like crap. I don't know if I've got the flu or what, but I canceled my guest because I didn't want to get anybody sick. And I said, you know what? Hell, I'll just go to the computer and try to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And so today I am going to talk about the final match of my career. And that was at WrestleMania 19 against The Rock at Safeco Arena in Seattle, Washington. Now, the match, it's an interesting match, and there's a lot that goes into this match. Didn't quite live up to our WrestleMania 17 match, in my opinion, but when I went into this match, this was right after I'd kind of decided, hey, man, I'm going to leave the business of professional wrestling. This is my last match. And there was only a few people at that time, maybe 5, that knew that this was going to be my last match. This is also the time, if you guys have heard me tell the story before, the day before, I went to the gym with Kevin Nash, and my legs were really jumpy that day for some reason. And we were just talking, shooting the breeze. I had drank a couple of pots of coffee, drank a couple of Rip Forces, and finished working out with Kevin. I said, all right, man, I'll see you later. And I go back to my hotel room. I was standing at the Grand Hyatt. I'll never forget it. And I was way up on about the 26th, 27th floor. And, man, I remember right before I got to my floor, my heart started beating out of my chest. I was thinking to myself, oh, man, just like Fred Sanford, this is the big one. I'm going down. My heart rate reached about 180 beats a minute, and I'm about to just shit myself because I'm scared to death. I don't know what's up. Anyway, those elevator doors open, and my room is right to the left, literally about 15 steps away. And I know I need some help. And I have my little Motorola Star Trek flip phone. And when I got out of the elevator, there was one person coming down the hall, and that was Liz DeFabio. She used to work in the office. I don't know if she still works there. And, man, when that elevator door opened and I was standing there trying to walk to my room and my legs were shaky, I was in a panic. But I was trying to maintain my composure. But as soon as Liz saw me, she knew something was up. And I looked at her and I said, Liz, I need help. So she grabbed my key from me. She slid it on the magnetic thing and went into my room. And I said, Liz, I need help. So she dialed 911. And shoot, before you know it, there's 2 ambulance crews in my room trying to figure out what's going on with me. They've got heart rate monitors hooked up to me. They've got blood pressure things on me. And there's literally 2 ambulance crews there. And meantime, I'm on my phone talking with one of my best friends. He's still my doctor to this day, all of these years later, from San Antonio, my personal physician, Dr. Jimmy. And I called him up. Amongst all this chaos and everything that was going on, you know, Jimmy was my guy. And I called him. I said, Jimmy, man, something's going wrong here, man. My heart's beating about 180 beats a minute. I was timing and I was counting it. I talked to him, and then I had to hang up with him. And I remember they kind of got me settled down, hooked some IVs up to me. And because I'm in the main event the next day, well, I'm the semi-main event in a major match at WrestleMania. I believe Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle were the main event. And Rock and I followed a hell of a street fight match between Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon. Both guys got color. Shane O came down to the ring. It was just a hell of a spectacle, hell of a match. I was watching part of that match take place a while ago, and man, Vince McMahon if you were his opponent, he gave you everything and then some as an opponent, just as far as living, feeling, breathing those moments of joy, anger, heel heat, shining a guy up. Man, that guy, many people just don't realize how he wasn't classically a coordinated worker, but as far as the emotions that really capture you and tell you the story, that's what he excels at. And the same thing with Hulk Hogan. Just like I've said on many of the podcasts in the back a few weeks, and when I talked to him there at his place in Tampa, there's really no one, there's a couple, I may be one of them, that have a feel for the audience like Hulk Hogan. He can read a crowd like there's nobody's business. So anyway, they had this knockdown, drag-out, double color match, and The Rock and I go out there. And I guess this was about the time I took my ball and went home because I wasn't happy with some of the booking decisions that were going on at the time, and they wanted me to lose a match to Brock Lesnar there in Atlanta after, I'd worked in Columbus, Georgia, with Ric Flair the night before. And, of course, I was like a kid in a candy store working with Flair because I didn't have to call the match. I just listened to Rick. And worst piece of business I've ever done. Just got on an airplane, started drinking Bloody Marys, and ended up back in San Antonio. Went to my house, and my phone was ringing off the hook. So over the course of time, Jim Ross, my good friend, sends me a card. And he says, hey, man, if you ever want to talk, just call me. Man, I called him immediately. We started talking. And that's when Vince and I met at a high-rise hotel in Houston, Texas, and buried the hatchet, and I came back to the company. And shortly after I came back to the company, my nervous system was so shot. My neck had crapped out. I'd had my C3-4 fused in, 99? I missed most of 99, part of 2000, and then came back. When I came back, when you're gone that long, from a surgery or a walkout or whatever it is, man, being gone is one of the worst things. I mean, that's almost career suicide, out of sight, out of mind. Thankfully, for my fans, everybody stuck with me. And when I came back from both occasions, I went right back to the top. So anyway, this is an interesting deal because I was having so many neurological issues. And I remember walking, backstage with Bruce Pritchard, a couple of times. My nervous system was just shot, and I was having a lot of atrophy in my left hand, along with just other things that were bothering me. And it was just like I talked to Dale Earnhardt Jr. A few weeks ago on my USA Network show, Straight Up Steve Austin. And Dale had been in, some severe car crashes, had suffered some concussions, and he needed to, as he saw his specialist, and he had to pull a plug on his career, and because he was racing scared. And you can't race scared. And he was letting his crew down, his team down by racing scared because, man, they're all out there to win. And he just couldn't do it anymore. He was scared of crashing because he did not want to suffer another concussion because it just put him in so many weird places and so many side effects. And for me to go out there, and if the wrong thing happened at the wrong time, well, then I was going to end up in a wheelchair or whatever. So anyway, that's all on the line. And I remember them two ambulance crews come into my room. They get me all situated, run some IVs. They get me in a gurney. And here's the thing, man. When you're at the Grand Hyatt and you're at WrestleMania, there's thousands and thousands of people there. So they got sheets draped up all around me. It was like a big shower curtain surrounding the stretcher that they was carrying me out to that ambulance on, because you can't let everybody know that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to the hospital. There's WrestleMania the next day. And I was in a major match with The Rock. This is our final match ever. I had beaten him in 15. I had beaten him in 17, and here was 19, and 19 was going to be The Rock's night. And so I go to the hospital, and they don't know what's wrong with me, but they do figure out that I'm severely dehydrated, and they put about 4 liters of fluid in me. And then they think, okay, hey, man, this the way this guy's acting, maybe he has a pulmonary embolism. So they do a bunch of scans, x-rays, all kinds of stuff on my chest cavity. And, of course, there's nothing wrong with me other than the fact that I was severely dehydrated, drinking too much wine at night, and drinking way too much coffee and all those caffeine drinks before I went and worked out. And after running so hard for so long, it finally caught up with me, and the shit hit the fan, and my heart just wigged out. So anyway, as I'm sitting there looking at Liz, she's looking at me, I know I need help. All of a sudden, I'm in the hospital. They're running tests on me, and, man, they keep me overnight. I remember going to sleep in the hospital, and I'll never forget when they carried me to the hospital, I said, hey, man, I had the wherewithal to grab my backpack. And because at that time in my life, if I didn't have what I needed to go to sleep, I wasn't going to go to sleep. I was like a light switch. I was either on or I was off, but I needed that light switch to help me, if you know what I mean, because I couldn't go to sleep on my own. So anyway, we get in there and run all these tests on me. I'm laid up in there. I'm going to spend a night. They're going to observe me. And I remember this nurse comes in there, and she had a little paper dish, one of those Petri dishes. And there's a little white pill in there. And I recognized the pill. And I asked her, I said, hey, what is that? And she said, well, that's a soma. That's going to help you sleep. When she says that, I'm thinking to myself, well, one soma ain't going to do the trick. But I didn't tell her that because most people don't take somas. So anyway, I take the soma, and she goes out of the room, and she goes, I'll be checking on you during the night, and if you need anything, just ring this bell. And I was good to go. There was nothing wrong with me. They filled me up full of fluids, and so I get my backpack, and I grab about 3 or 4 somas and wash those down, and I think I remember wishing I had a beer to help kick them in, but that's the only way I was going to sleep that night. Because first of all, like I said, I was a light switch. I had to have my own gear, so I brought it in the form of my backpack. And on the other hand, I was thinking about this match. I'm going out there with The Rock, a very good friend of mine, and someone who I've got to do justice with. I mean, I've got to have a damn good match. And my heart is just wigged out. I'm physically frazzled. And when morning came, the day of WrestleMania, I guess that would have been a Sunday, I think Jim Ross was there. Jim Ross has always been there every time something happened to me, whether it was getting my neck fused up or bringing me back to the company, or recruiting me as well, all the times that he did. I remember the doctor saying, hey, Steve, man, I'm not going to medically clear you to wrestle today or tonight. He goes, now, you can do whatever you want to, but I'm not going to technically clear you. And for me, well, I was going to clear myself because this was going to be my last match. I owed one to The Rock. I've got to go out there in front of 54,000 people and put on the best show I can because that's just the way the business is. If you can go, you go. And I didn't know how I was going to hold up because of how jumpy my system was the day before, my legs. I was rehydrated. I didn't know what my heart was going to do. There's no permanent heart issue. I don't have a heart issue. It was just drinking all that shit and not drinking enough water. Purchasing supplies for a business can be a real hassle. As you guys know, I have my shop at the ranch. It can be a chore trying to get everything I need together without multiple trips all over the place. Just keeping track of where you need to go will turn you all around and upside down. That's why there's our friends at Zorro.com, where the number one goal is to make your life easier. Zorro.com, spelled Z-O-R-O, is where you'll find everything you need for businesses of any size and almost any industry. Electrical, plumbing, contracting, manufacturing. Don't sweat it because Zorro has you covered. Zorro.com has tools and equipment, safety and office supplies, cleaning gimmicks, and more from brands you know and trust such as Stanley, 3M, Milwaukee, Schneider, and Rubbermaid, just to name a few. Zorro.com offers amazing customer service from real people based in the U.S. And you'll dig the fast free shipping on orders of $50 or more. Just for listeners of the Steve Austin Show, visit Zorro.com/Austin to sign up for Z-Mail and get 15% off your first order. Again, that's Zorro.com/Austin for 15% off your first order. Zorro.com/Austin. Get it all in one place.
Football season is here, and it's time to dominate the competition with your fantasy picks. And RJ Bell's Dream Preview on PodcastOne Sportsnet is your secret weapon to victory.
I said the fact they didn't run it up in week 1 tells me this guy is so confident he wants to hide his strength.
No matter the matchup, RJ's got you handled with top-notch analysis for the best NFL picks around.
Now, is that true or not? I don't know. Very optimistic.
Download RJ Bell's Dream Preview every week on Apple Podcasts and PodcastOne.com.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
So we go out there and we proceed to have our match. And again, like I said, only a few people knew that this was going to be my last match. Most of the boys didn't have a clue. Just a few of us. And I'll never forget the build up to the match. Rock calls me out, and he basically issues a challenge. There's been championship belts involved in some of the other matches, but in WrestleMania 19, there's no championship on the line. I believe that was between Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, but it was a match. Again, these two icons in the sport, And Rock had already started gaining traction in Hollywood. He was turning into a movie star, and now he's the biggest movie star on the planet. But this was back in those formative years. And he was out there paying his dues, laying the groundwork. And right now, as I'm watching, here's the video package coming up between The Rock and Stone Cold. And he's got this black vest on. He's got his sunglasses on. I've got my traditional, leather vest with a silver writing. And as you go through these packages, man, if you get on the WWE Network, shows me at my ranch in Bernie, Texas, walking with that BLS shirt on and flipping vents off. These packages, there I am in my jorts. I remember giving somebody a stunner, and I ripped the ass out of those things, and I can see the black underwear but sticking out of my shorts. Double knee braces. I was pretty beat up at this time. And God dang, these packages that they used to do were just money. I was giving Bischoff a stunner. Love working with Bischoff. And here comes The Rock. He's got a bottle of water and a microphone. He's shrugging his shoulders. He's fixing to start talking smack to Stone Cold Steve Austin and issuing a challenge. And as The Rock looks at me, he takes those glasses off. Flashback to WrestleMania 15. There's us circling. Me giving him a stunner. Bouncing off the ropes at 17, another stunner. There's just something about The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin that was just that crazy money history. Rock was working heel. People were telling him to go back to Hollywood. And these packages that they make are just incredible. Rock's talking shit to me. He's got that big belt buckle with that steer skull on there. There I am beating him at 17. Stunner. He's flipping everywhere again. I got the middle fingers up. Here we are. That's a face-off between The Rock and myself. And just for some reason, I don't know what that combination was, but it was nothing but just goosebumps and money. And The Rock felt it just like I felt it. There I am. Wham. Oh, he pushes off on the stunner. Bails out of the ring. And WrestleMania 19 is a match that we did it that night. And all these years later, as I sit here, flashback to the match in Philadelphia, WrestleMania 15, when I forgot my vest because I was going through a divorce. This was a match that I never rewatched. I might have watched this match one time. Maybe that was years ago. Rock's behind me, flipping me off. Gives me a stunner. Man, I was taking the shit out of those stunners, man. It's a good sell job. Now he's giving me a rock bottom. This is all the build-up package here. God dang, the build-up packages were just amazing. As much as I love 17, this 19 build-up package is a sumbitch. Boy, he's flipping me off, and I'm just looking at him, and just nothing but daggers. I'm wearing his ass out in the corner right here. He's flip-flopping and selling for me. He misses the elbow. I clothesline him over the top rope. Big clothesline. He just hits me with the stunner. Back to it. Clothesline over the top end of these packages are just going back and forth. But I'm wondering, what kind of match can I give The Rock? When we were down there in 17 in Houston at the Astrodome, where we set an all-time attendance record, same here. Everybody on the card did because we weren't headlining this. There's a helicopter coming into the sunset and showing Seattle. I didn't know what kind of time we were going to have in this match. I didn't really get a chance to talk with The Rock very much about this match. When we worked in 17, we went out to a steakhouse in Houston, Texas. And we had Pat Patterson was there, and I was drinking a, bottle of wine, and we were just, hey, man, how about this? How about that? Oh, man, this would be cool if we did this here and did that there. All right, Rock is making his entrance here at WrestleMania 19. So I'm going to be kind of in limited duty. Okay, Rock's coming down, man. He's all jacked up. It looks like $1 million. Swagger deluxe. Just has on his boots, his knee pads. He's got his elbow pads on, and it says The Rock right there on his trunks. He's really working it. Just looks like $1 million. That's how a champion. That's how an over guy carries himself. Because Rock was over. He comes swaggering down to the ring. I'll never forget. That was such a long-ass walkway down to that ring. And, I think it's Jason is the guy who lights these buildings and puts all these signs up, had just done a phenomenal job. Because I remember going to the building that day, and it was just a very emotional day because if anybody said anything to me, I damn near would start crying because I knew that this was my last match. This was me riding off into the sunset. Nobody else knew that. The Rock did. Jim Ross did. Vince did. And I think Jim Ross probably even put a little extra mustard on his commentary on this, in building me up and talking about me. Maybe Lawler knew. Maybe Jim had told him. Rock's still perched on this turnbuckle. I'm about to make my way to the ring. But I don't know, what I can give in this match. What do I have in the gas tank? 17, like I said, was a barn burner. Now, when I'm about to come out here in a minute, I was in pretty damn good shape. But after spending all night at the hospital, and, doctor says, hey, man, I'm not technically going to clear you. Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. About to hit that glass break here. See what we got here. Man, it's a hell of a response. Yeah. Man, there's nothing like that. I got the bulletproof vest on. And walking down that damn ramp, there's confetti and shit everywhere. People, right there next to the barricades. God dang, that had to have been 100-yard walk. It just felt like forever, and you're just taking it all in, and you're looking at everybody, and you're kind of charged up with adrenaline. But at the same time, after everything you've been through the night before, you're like, hey, man, what am I going to be able to give this cat? Can I, pull through and give him the match that he needs to have, because he's going to go on and go make a movie, I believe. And I'm riding off in the sunset, and, I don't want to disappoint, 54,000 people and however many people watching on pay-per-view. And I had this vest made. Terry Anderson, the seamstress, used to make every single one of my vests. And this particular vest has OMR on it. One more round. Nobody knew what that meant. I had this vest made specifically for this event because I'd had a talk with Vince, and I can't really remember the talk with Vince or how I even decided that I was going to walk away from the business. But the decision had been made, and I had this vest made for this match. I just hit a turnbuckle, and Rock and I are just staring at each other right now. I do believe The Rock was a little bit emotional at the end of this match because he knew how much I love the business, and he knew that he just had my last match with me. There's Earl Hebner. Earl don't know what's happening here, man. He's like, hey, man, what's going to happen here? I'm taking my vest off, and there's always daggers when I'm sitting there staring down The Rock, just staring a hole through him. He's edgy. He starts, I block his punch. I'm starting to light his ass up. Man, I've never start so many matches with anybody except The Rock. And I've jump-started a bunch of matches, but for some reason I flipped off Earl. It's always good to jump-start a match with The Rock. Oh, I go for a stunner. He pushes off, powders out. He's the heel. There I am in the ring. Rock's mother effing everybody. Bam! I just clotheslined the hell out of him. He's kind of doing the old walk back to the dressing room routine, and I clotheslined him. Ran his head into the barricade. He's selling for me. Big chop. Here we go. We're working our way back to the ring. And here's some stairs. How about some stairs? And threw his head down into the stairs. He's selling around over there to commentary. He's over by the barricade. I chopped him again. What was going on? I just chopped him again. I don't know why I'm chopping. I chopped him again. Ric Flair was the king of chops, and they always elicit a response, but, the chop wasn't so much a part of my arsenal. I just picked Rock up and dropped him across that barricade, clotheslined him on the announce table. Great bump by Rock. Goes cattywampus, ass over tea kettle. All the announcers had to scatter. There's Michael Cole. I'm following behind Rock. He's staggering out in front of the desk. Earl's giving me some cues. Hey, man, let's get this thing back in the ring. Rock goes back in the ring. I say, no. We're going to go over here first. And there's his family, his mother and his wife at the time. And so I pick him up and drop his throat across that damn barricade into the stairs. Rock goes down, selling that shoulder. I'm not even breathing hard here. I was in really good shape, other than the fact that I'd been in the hospital the next night. I wasn't going to run out of gas. I had plenty of wind in the tanks. although I spent the night in the hospital, okay, I'll go, I go for the old hand stomp, and he moved. I stomp it with a second to take here. Oh, Rock's moving. We're a little bit out of sync there. Rock's draped across the second rope. I'm kicking him, putting the boots to him. Trying to get a mean streak going here, trying to just kick his ass because he had worked up a hell of a set of steam on me on this build-up. And, again, they used a Limp Bizkit song. I don't know the name of the song, but for some reason, man, that My Way for WrestleMania 17 just worked for me and The Rock. And right now I'm on offense. Just basically a belly-to-back suplex. Okay, I'm going in for my first cover. Rock kicks out. Picking his ass up. Probably going to about to turn around here. I've got him in a turnbuckle, sending him in. He's going to take this turnbuckle. Wham! Takes a hard turnbuckle. He's selling his back. Send him into another turnbuckle. Wham! He's selling his back. Probably a little reversal here. Send him into the turnbuckle. Oh, yeah, there's a big reversal. Here comes. Wham! I clotheslined him out of his damn boots. Talking some trash to him. Rock's coming up. Working a very deliberate pace. The pacing to this match is good. It probably wasn't as quick as the WrestleMania 17 pace that we set. And, dude, you're talking about two guys. Rock probably weighed 275. I was probably weighing 255. Rock was a big dude. He's probably 6'4", 6'5", but always, oh, man, he just clipped me from behind. But Rock could go. Rock would never blow up on you. You didn't have to worry about Rock's cardio. And you didn't have to worry about mine either, because if I did blow up because I'd been out drinking, well, I was just going to work through it. And that was part of the things that a lot of people said, hey, man, Steve, you never blow up. Oh, I did. I just kept going. And so here comes a Rock. Oh, takes out my left knee again. Got the double leg braces on. It's logical that he would start working my knee. He's coming up. I've been on offense all this time, and now it's time for Rock to get his shit in, and he's going to open up a can of whoop ass on me and get some heat. I'm on top of the announce desk. He just threw me up there, and now he's going to grab my leg and slam it down into the top of that damn announce desk. Rock just scared off Earl Hebner. Bam, working my knee again. Just putting in work, just doing work that makes sense, logical work. And as mine was just a general can on him, maybe working the back. Oh, man, cameraman goes down. Is that Stu? Okay, I'm just selling around. I think we're back around maybe to his family. And now throws me back in the ring. Shit cans me back in the ring. There goes Earl. Here comes the Rock. I'm selling into a corner. I'm basically, feeding him that leg just by being positioned away from him. Rock's really kicking the shit out of me. I'm down on a knee here. He's working that knee. I think he's fixing to go out and wrap that thing around that turnbuckle. Here he goes. If you watch this match, down on the apron, just a good leg crank down on the apron to work the back of that knee. Jim Ross is really doing an awesome job on the commentary. Him and Lawler, I believe. Michael Cole and those guys are there. All right, here he goes. He's got Earl's trying to get him off of me. Big punch from the Rock. I'm basically straddling that post. He's got the left leg, and he's just racking it into that steel pipe. It makes sense. You got the two damaged wheels, got the leg braces. What body parts are going to work? It makes sense to work a leg of Stone Cold, take his power out from underneath him. Obviously, the knee history, it's a logical body part to work for the Rock. He's pulling me back up here. We come to center in the ring. Oh, I block his punch. It's time to fire up a little bit. Big fire. Big right hand. Big right hand. Big right hand. Big right. I'm just teeing off on him. Send him in. Here he comes. I go for the backdrop. Kicks me. Boots me right down in the knee. I went for the backdrop. He kicked me, stood me up, and then shot the left leg right underneath me. Excellent move by the Rock. Great strategy. Good high spot. Brought the crowd up. Took him right back down. Rock back into heat position. Really picks the knee up. Slams it down into the mat. I'm selling that wheel. There's Hebner. Probably giving me a time cue. Rock with a step over. It's basically like a sharpshooter. Here's the thing. When Rock and I did sharpshooters on each other, Rock's really working that sharpshooter. And I'm twisted up, contorted in pain. It was really hard for Rock to put a sharpshooter on me because I have pretty big legs, and I had all those Kevlar custom carbon fiber knee braces on. Conversely, when I tried to put the sharpshooter on him, his legs are like trying to grab steel coils. And his friggin' legs are so damn big and stout and just loaded with tension, it's hard to put his ass in a sharpshooter. And obviously, as electric and as much chemistry as The Rock had with us, with each other, we weren't quite on the technician level that like a Bret the Hitman Hart would be, who would have no problem putting this hold on either one of us. Rock still doing work. Big right hand, dragging me back over to another turnbuckle, pulling me by my leg braces. I'm in a world of shit here. Rock's working up a hell of a set of heat on me. Big right hand. Earl Hebner's trying to get him off of it. Rock draws back his hand like he's going to hit Earl Hebner. Earl Hebner's one of my, probably the favorite ref. I love Timmy White, Mike Chioda, all those guys. Never got a chance to work with Tommy Young. I would have loved that. But Earl Hebner was that guy. Okay, The Rock has picked up my Stone Cold Steve Austin vest. And now he's mocking or mimicking me. And he's got the bulletproof OMR black and silver vest on, getting a drink of water. And that's the thing that we used to do back in the day. You go out there and you just get a little cotton mouth or whatever. Okay, Rock just came in, and I said, oh, no, mother. Teeing off on him, send him in. He reverses me. I duck his clothesline, come back. Oh, double clothesline, double down. A lot of the times, double clothesline, double down. A lot of times, if you're out there, if you can fight over underneath the desk, you can get you a kayfabe swig of water just to wet your whistle a little bit. And also the showbiz part of it. There's many times he's spit water in my face and vice versa. Just a tremendous duck the clothesline, double clothesline. Really, really looks good. It's a double down. Rock's laid out on his back. I'm trying to make heads or tails of where I'm at. As far as physicality, as far as physically feeling in the match, I'm feeling good. No ill effects from being in the hospital the night before. Doctor said, hey, man, I'm not going to clear you, but if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I did it. Here comes The Rock. I block his punch. I'm teeing off on him. Right hands, just big right hands. Just still got my vest in. I sent him in for the ride. Oh, he ducks the elbow. Here's the Fez press. Wow, here we go. Wham, wham. These are deliberate punches. A lot of times those come in the form of rabbit punches. These are just deliberate, teeing off on the side of his head. Now I'm working into a frenzy. Picked up the tempo. Wham, start redlining at 6,000. Earl's trying to get me off. I just flipped him off. Picked him. Okay. Oh, big elbow dropping across Rock's throat after two middle fingers. Oh, barely kicks out by The Rock. It's just great selling by The Rock. Just the drama. This match is a lot better than I remember it being, and I was just too hard to watch this match back. I've got him in the corner now. I'm just stomping his guts in, just taking my time, just stomping his ass. He's still got my vest on. Speed up the tempo a little bit. Could have laid those in better. You've got to lay your shit in. Pull him up now from the corner. Going to send him in for the ride here. Here he comes. He ducks the clothesline. He ducks the elbow. Wham! Comes back with a flying elbow. Does a kip up or a nip up, whatever you call it. Looks at the crowd. Half the people are cheering him. Some people are booing him. He's talking that smack. What a dynamic, electric performer. Here he comes. Oh, blind feed right into a rock bottom from me to him. After he talked all that smack, okay, I'm just going to be a little bit slow on this cover just to protect that finish. Oh, he barely kicks out. He barely kicks out of his own move. I give him the rock bottom. Enough time to sell that just to protect that finish. Okay, he's laying in the middle of the ring. What have I got planned for him? I'm waiting for his ass to come up. It just looks like I'm about to hit him with a stone cold stunner. Just come on up, Rock. I'm just looking at him. Center of the ring. He's still selling. It's going to be a blind feed into something. I'm sure it's going to be a stunner. Here he's Rock with that trademark stunner. Rock with that trademark blind feed. Okay, I tried to kick him. He caught me. Caught my foot and gives me the Stone Cold Stunner. Rock has just stunnered Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's Lawler crowing like crazy, talking about what The Rock's done. Okay, Rock's taking his time a little bit here. Hooks the leg, but he's giving me time to protect that finish. Boom, just barely kicked out of that thing. Just the perfect amount of just dead time to protect the finish. Okay, we're both just selling like crazy here. It's been a pretty good battle. I don't even know how long this match lasted. Rock is still wearing my vest. Here he comes. Waiting for Stone Cold to come up. Okay, man, I'm staggering here. Man, I look like that wildebeest out there in the plains, and looks like his line's fixing to get me. Blind feed into wham, a big right hand from The Rock. Big right hand from The Rock. Just teeing off on me. Just sweat flying everywhere. Oh, man, now he's just really just knocking the trash out of me. Great punches by The Rock. Double birds. I duck his big punch. Give him a stunner. Big classic flip up from The Rock. He's laying there, spread eagle. He is just out. He's just shellacked me with a bunch of right hands. Okay, here I'm scrambling for the cover. Oh, big kick out by The Rock. Perfect timing on The Rock. Perfect timing for me as far as the cover. Sense of urgency was there. Drama off the charts. Two guys, two champs, former champs, two guys that are super over. At many times during our runs, just all, both working his baby face. And here he's come back from Hollywood, and we're doing battle. And it's just one more round. Earl's giving me some instructions there. I grabbed him by his shoulder and throw him down. And when I did that, Rock gives me the low blow. Jimmy shot. Rock talking about how smart he is. Oh, he can ham it up with the best of them. All right, I'm laying there selling my balls. Rock's looking at me. He's got my vest on still. I guess he wrestled half of the match in my vest. Looks like he's going to scoop my arm together there with his foot and go for the people's elbow. I'm in perfect position. Rock milks it perfectly. Looks at that crowd. Crowd's coming with him. He's fixing it. There he goes. Gives us the signal. Jumps over, crosses over. Here he comes. Boom. I move just in time. Come up. Wham. Oh, go for the stunner. Push off. Pine. Okay, he just shit cans the damn vest. To hell with this. Now he's serious. Pulls off the other damn thing. Goes to hit the ropes. I moved on the first elbow, but here he is. Wham. He nails that one. Right in the heart. Dagger shot. 1, 2, 3. Oh, kick out 2.5. 2 3/4. Rock can't believe it. We've got to be getting ready to go into the 3 rock bottoms. He just drilled me right in the heart with that people's elbow. I think that was a shoot. I'm kidding. All right, I'm trying to pull myself on that bottom rope. Rock's working that crowd, talking that shit. People are starting to boo him. He's just so much larger than life. I'm hanging off that top turnbuckle. It's going to be a blind feed into a rock bottom. Sure enough, blind feed, wham, rock bottom. Got the leg hook. 1, 2. Ooh. Kick out at 2 3/4. Rock's like, are you kidding me? You kicked out of that? I'm selling my ass off. I'm face down, hands clasped. Rock's walking around the ring. Setting up. It's going to be one more. He's just sitting there. It's kind of like that, just hands on his thighs stance. Here comes, boy, that rock bottom really just took it out of me. Really took it out of me. Coming to my feet, crawling up. It's going to be another blind feed. Oh, Harry's got me. Okay, I'm giving him the elbow. I'm going to escape. Oh, God damn it. Turned right back into it to come with like a clothesline maneuver. He got up under me. Another rock bottom. God dang, kick out 2 5/8. That was a desperation. And that rock bottom, if you can shoot on a rock bottom, that thing looked like a shoot. Had a guy send me an email who said, hey, man, those 3 rock bottoms look like they hurt. Now, they didn't hurt, but these rock bottoms look premier. All right, I am face down. I've had about all I can take. 2 rock bottoms. No one's ever kicked out of 2 rock bottoms. No one ever kicked out of a rock bottom. It's going to take one more to beat me, Rock. It's probably going to take one more. All right, I'm trying to come up. Rock's sitting there. He's got his hands on his thighs. Athletic crouch, just waiting for me. He's ready to spring into action. He's like a jaguar waiting for that wildebeest to go to that water hole. Spring his attack. Man, I'm about 3/4 out of it. We're going, okay, here's this last blind feed. Here it is. All right, big pause. Just pause. Wham! Boy, and I just kind of buckle up on that one. 1, 2, 3. The pause before that last rock bottom was premier, sending out the signal that this is it. This is the last one. The pause, a dramatic pause to let the people in and see what was going to happen. Covered me. It's sitting right beside me right now. I'm just kind of laying there, 54,000 people. Rock's looking down on me as his night to office pushes Earl away. You got some words for me here. Man, picture perfect rock bottom. And Rock gives me some words there before he steps off, and he goes and hits his turnbuckles, puts that big arm up in the air. And I'm laying there in front of 54,000 people just selling the shit out of 3 rock bottoms. Selling the shit out of one more round. Dealing with the fact that I am never going to do this again. This is my last match. This is my last hurrah. 2003, 16 years ago, Rock hits another turnbuckle. He got the win. He's got to get the glory. Everybody's taking pictures, just flashes everywhere. What a house that was. What beautiful lighting by Jason. What an event. What a emotion-filled day. And to now know that it was over. And The Rock knows that he has just retired. Stone Cold Steve Austin stands beside me. I'm laying there just kind of still selling those tough ass rock bottoms that he delivered to me. If you'd ever shoot with something and make it look like it was just so real, those rock bottoms were. Kisses his former wife, says hello to his mother and his family, crosses back over the barricade, gives somebody a signal, and he's walking away right now, and he's wiping his face. I dare say he's a little emotional. Gives me a look back at that ring, and scratching his head right now. We just ripped it up. We had a tremendous match, and he knows how much I love the business, and I think he's feeling a little bit of the emotions that I'm feeling. And he's walking backwards up that ramp, and that was about a 100-yard walk. And he's looking at me, and he just touches his chest and gives a signal, and that looks like a shout out to me. Cut back to the ring. I'm standing by the ring. I just been through a damn war. The match was much better than I remembered it being. I thought it was a pile of shit when it happened because I knew I didn't know what I'd be able to give. And so I'm walking back up the ramp. Earl Hebner's behind me. I think Earl knows it's my last match. I got a sense here when I get to the top of the ramp, I stop to give the people the double birds, meaning, you're with me, not flipping them off. When I held up those double birds, that was me giving the people the signal, hey, man, fuck everybody. We're in this together. There's the FU part when I was telling someone that, but when I hold up those double middle fingers and they're pointed this way, that's we're all in this together, and that's unification. That's we're all here to have a good time, and that was badass. So I'm looking back, man. I just turned around and gave that crowd a little look, and I'm thinking, it feels like the weight of the world on one hand has been lifted off my shoulders because I'm not subjecting myself to injury anymore. But on the other side of that, I'm like, man, what's next? because I didn't want to leave the business. I didn't want to pull my own plug, just like Dale Earnhardt Jr. didn't want to pull his plug. Okay, I'm giving everybody the double birds here. And I think maybe because I'm up here for quite an extended amount of time, I wonder if some people realize, like, hey, man, that might have been Stone Cold's last match. But I always wanted to make sure that I gave everybody their money's worth. And so I would go out there and take advantage of any kind of opportunity I had to make sure the fans, they bonded with me, and I wanted them to know that I understood the bond and that we've all been in this together. And if they didn't support me, I was nothing without them. And I wanted to work my ass off to, keep earning their respect and, make them glad that they came to an event. And that's how I've always appreciated everybody's, support of my career. Michael Cole and Taz are wrapping this up right now. And so I would go to the back, and going to the back was weird because, what do you do next? You've been on the road. You've had some high times, some mid times, and some low times. You quit the company. You came back. You got fused up. You came back. The fans accepted you back. They wanted you back. And now where do you go from here? And I remember, I think it was after this match, or was it during the day, we did some interviews about this event. And I think I'm fixing to get a chance to look at some of that footage for the first time in 16 years. And it was time for me to ride off in the sunset, and someone would just immediately step in and take my place on the card. Now, they would need to get over, but they would be, taking my place on the card. And the fact that I was able to make it through that freaking match, pretty damn good match. Pretty damn good. Not the best match we ever had, but that was a pretty damn good match. It was a lot better than I remember it for being. And to go out there and not quit and say, hey, man, doctor said I couldn't wrestle. Man, that's just not how we're wired. It was like when I got, dropped on my head in 97 there in Meadowlands Arena. You just finish matches. It's like when Triple H tried to finish that match when he tore his quad. And I think that's the way true competitors are wired to, go out there and perform and finish if you can. And that night before, that day before, where all that shit happened, all the ambulances, all the paramedics in my room, spending the night getting rehydrated and not being able to talk with The Rock too much about what we're going to do. So it was just kind of like a skeleton-type match where we filled in the blanks out there. But every time someone would say something to me, I would just you damn near start crying because, that's how much the business meant to me. And so anyway, now that that's all over and we'll move on, for the last couple of weeks, down there at the Raw reunion in Tampa, down there at the Madison Square Garden show at Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks ago, people always ask me, hey, man, you're still in really good shape. You got one more match left in you. And I tell them, man, I say, it's a tough thing to think about. Physically, would I be capable of having one more match? Yes, most definitely. And I could make it through that match without being injured, although the risks are always there just because I think all the surgeries that I had, the fusion, opening up the where I had the spinal stenosis and getting that bone spur taken off my spinal cord, I'm in a good place. Nerves feel a lot better than they used to. So, in theory, could I have a match? In theory, yes. But would it be great to have a match? I don't know. I think that night in Seattle at Safeco Arena in front of 54,000 people working with The Rock, as they always say in any sport, leave it all on the field. That night, I left it all on the field. I've had this one guy that sends me a couple of emails because I've never answered the email. He goes, hey, man, when you took those 3 rock bottoms, those things look really stiff. Those things look like a chute. Well, The Rock is a big, strong-ass dude, 6'4", 6'5", and you come up and those things have got to look good. And it's an easy bump to take. It's a flat back bump. But yeah, I sold the shit out of them, and they just kept building in magnitude. It's like the first one was what it was. And then the second one just took that much more out of me. And it was only by pure guts and instinct, and not to be, having your shoulders down for a 3 count, because that means you've been beaten, to kick out. And then to feed in to that, that third one, and he really put the stink on that one. They hit in the way I just kind of crunched up. The drama of the pause before he gave me that was just symbolic, that this is the one that ends this guy. No one knew the career, but that was what was going to end that match. And so I left it all in the ring that night. And a really good match with one of my arch rivals, one of my very, very good friends. I remember Rock when he came there, and then we started doing business together, and he ascended to the heights that he ascended to, and was just a magnificent performer. And we just, for some reason, those build-up packages and all that stuff and laying those angles down was always so much fun. And we were both like, two kids at a candy store doing business with each other. When you see those visuals, if you get back on WWE Network, you watch the build-up for that match. And it's right after that Hogan-McMahon street fight, which was a hell of a damn match. And right before the main with Brock and Kurt, man, that's a hell of a damn build-up package, man. That is a sizzle reel that will make you interested in that match. And it was a very interesting night at the office. So, yeah, I could have another match. Yeah, but I'm done. I got to enjoy going down to Madison Square Garden and hitting AJ Styles with a stunner. That was fun. Go out there and do stuff like that. That's fun. It's the young guys' time now, and gals. It's the young superstars' time. They need the TV time. I had a great career, and again, I pulled up that match out of the blue because so many people have emailed me about it, and I've tried to watch it because I'm just type A, short attention span theater, and because I knew how it ended, not me getting beat, but just it was my last match, I just never could watch it. So watching that just now with you, it was a pretty damn good match. I gave it everything I had. I love working with The Rock. I love having Earl Hebner there. I love being in front of the crowd. I love being in the ring. It's like that was always, when you hear about, something like the Eddie Guerreros of the world, like sometimes Eddie could have, his bad days or his demons or whatever, but when he was in the ring, he was happy. And I think that's the same for me as well. Being in the ring was my happy place. And I wouldn't say it was exclusive to me and Eddie. I think it's almost exclusive to all the men and women that get into business. And that's when you get a chance to go out there and show who and what you are and what you're worth and what you can do and take that crowd on a ride. And as professional wrestlers, as performers, as people who are in the entertainment industry, to be able to take a crowd on that type of ride, that's what you hang your hat on. And it's like when I go back these days and I get these monster pops going out there and stun AJ Styles and I drink some beer and the crowd just loses its mind and blows the roof off the place, that's awesome. I love it. But there's nothing like going into the ring, and when the bell rings, that is your proving ground. That's where you show who and what you are and what you're worth and why you are, what you are and who you are and how you do things. And there's that level of pride, and to put in that good work, to turn in that high quality workmanship, to work a match that you can't see through, to protect your calls, to lay your shit in, to not telegraph the next thing. Recently, I was on YouTube after Harley Race passed, and I saw this match from 1977 in Sam Houston Coliseum between Harley Race and Terry Funk. It was for the World Championship, and it was a 2 out of 3 falls match. It went 40 minutes. This was a classic style wrestling match from 1977. The wrestling that they were doing fit 1977. That was classic style. But if you get on YouTube and you watch this match, it's like you can't see these guys say anything. You'll see Harley kind of grunt here and there. And I know Harley was calling the match, and him and Funk worked a million times together. You can't see where the color happens. You know, you can if you study it enough. But these guys were so subtle. They didn't look at the crowd one single time the entire match for 40 minutes. Now, I would look to the crowd. Rock would look to the crowd. There's a time to let that crowd in and work with them, but there's also pandering. That's going to the crowd too many times. That's begging the crowd for your approval. We're not there begging for approval. We're commanding respect and letting you know here's what the story is, and if you respond accordingly, this is the ride that we're going to take you on. So if you go back and you watch that match, watch the subtleties. Watch not being able to see any call. Watch the reality. Now, there's only like 1.5 high spots in here. It's like a 2-stage high spot. It's a tackle given to Harley by Terry Funk, and then Harley gets up and sidesteps, almost like a matador with the bull, just sidesteps Terry, and Terry goes flying through the second, third ropes. And there's a time about the 23-minute and 40-second mark where there's an explosion in the cadence of the match. Terry Funk grabs Harley and a headlock, spins around to the other side, reverse hammerlock, single legs him, goes for the spinning toe hold. Harley kicks him off, and they both come up. And Harley comes up in a ready position from a crouch and just hawks a big loogie in the audience. And that was like, all right, let's get it on. And I'll do a lot of real solid arm work in the beginning of the match. But I digress. I don't want to go too far into this match because I wanted to talk about this match with Bruce Pritchard or Tom Pritchard or someone that had watched it, because Tom Pritchard was actually at this match in 77, giving time cues while Paul Bosch was calling the match. And if you listen to this match and watch this match on YouTube, Paul Bosch was a very underrated commentator. And as he notes, man, there's probably 15 lockups in this match. And when these guys lock up, it's like two bulls clashing. It's just unbelievable, solid, believable work. And that's what The Rock and I were trying to do. And this was, again, a match from 2003. Styles have changed, but the reality must always be there. Fans must always be willing to suspend their disbelief, but to be able to buy into a product, you have to give them a product with no holes in it. There wasn't no holes in that match at WrestleMania 19. And so I'll wrap this podcast up. I went down memory lane. When I woke up this morning, I felt like shit just in watching this match and going through the beats. It's just picked me up and kind of took me to the next level. So I think I'm going to gas up my Kawasaki Teryx and take me a ride in the mountains. I hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, I had a guest, but I just wasn't up to it. I wanted to talk about this match. It's been on my list of things to do for 6 years, and I finally did it. There was a lot of politics going on before this match happened. It was right before, it was right when I took my ball and went home. I'd just come back into the company, and then The Rock and I go to work. And that's when, due to the fact that my nerves were, my neurological issues were a shoot, and I was living fast. And I just decided it was going to be in my best interest for my long-term future to, ride off into the sunset, and that's exactly what I did. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. To The Rock, 15, 17, and 19, brother. No one's headlined 3 WrestleManias and had badass matches. There's been a lot of badass matches at WrestleManias, but no one else has headlined 3 Manias. We still got that, and the goosebumps are still over here at the Broken Skull Ranch 2.0. Coming back to close the show. All right, let's give big ups to Geico for being a loyal sponsor of the Steve Austin Show. Go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes, you can be saving 15% or more on car insurance. That's right. Save hundreds of dollars on car insurance at geico.com. Extra money in your pocket? It may just be the most rewarding thing you do today. All right, let's get some props to our friends at TrueCar for supporting podcasts from day one. TrueCar knows that every car comes with its share of stories. That ding in your bumper from when you attempted to park somewhere in Los Angeles, or the mileage you saved by taking a bus all summer. While you can't put a price tag on your stories, now with TrueCar, you can at least find out what your car is worth when it's time to sell it or trade it in. Just go to TrueCar, simply enter your license plate number and watch how your car's details pop up. Then just answer a few questions. Navigation, moonroof, spacious trunk. This way, you'll know how much of a hit it's going to be so you can plan ahead. Once you're finished, you'll get a true cash offer sent in minutes, which you can take to a local certified dealer to cash out or trade in. So when you're ready to experience a better way to sell or trade in your car, check out TrueCar today. True cash offer not available in all areas. Hey man, you're going to need some car insurance for that vehicle. Go to geico.com and in 15 minutes, you could be saving 15% or more on car insurance. That's right. Save hundreds of dollars on car insurance at geico.com. Extra money in your pocket. It may just be the most rewarding thing you do today. All right, everybody, give me the go-home cue. It's time to wrap up this podcast, ride off in the sunset. And by doing that, I'm going to gas up my Kawasaki Teryx and take my sick ass out in the mountains and get a little ride, some sun going. Hey, don't forget to rate and review the Steve Austin Show on Apple Podcasts and tell your friends to check us out. If you want to reach me here on the podcast, send an email to questions@steveaustinshow.com. Hey, folks, my beer, Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA from El Segundo Brewing Company, is making its way to the East Coast, Massachusetts area, New York area, New Jersey area. Look on the El Segundo Brewing Company website, click on Broken Skull IPA, and find a location near you. Check out this badass West Coast IPA, which I consider the best IPA in the United States of America. Don't forget the King of Attitude shirts are available now at Pro Wrestling Tees store. Check out ProWrestlingTees.com/Steve Austin for those shirts, along with my other Broken Skull Ranch apparel. If you're looking for a badass pocket knife, which I suggest everybody should carry one, just like right now, I have my Cold Steel Broken Skull knife here in my pocket. You can also check out the Working Man. Find them at my Amazon store. Amazon has the best price on both knives. Just go to Amazon.com/shop/Steve Austin. Folks, I want to say thanks again to everybody that tuned in to Straight Up Steve Austin on the USA Network. Still waiting to see if we're going to get season 2 out of this, but thank you guys very much for supporting the show and watching the show. The ratings were awesome. I want to say one more thank you to all the fine sponsors of the Steve Austin Show, especially Fox, Zorro.com, Borderlands, Trojan, Geico, TrueCar, and BetOnline.ag. That's how I'm able to do this podcast for you twice a week for free. Please support them because they support us. If you need more info on my sponsors, check out the show description to this episode for details. Folks, I am on social media, Twitter and Instagram, at Steve Austin BSR. Until next time, my name is Steve Austin, and I will catch your ass down the road.
This has been a PodcastOne production. Download new episodes of The Steve Austin Show every Tuesday at PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.